Good morning guys, it's Jen here from Nails by Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, thanks for stopping by. So today I'm finally getting into the Q&A. I had posted a little while ago on my Instagram story for you guys to send me in questions, and I got quite a few questions, so I've narrowed it down to 10. I have my little cheat sheet here with all my questions and just some notes that I've made. I've got my coffee ready. I'm normally not a coffee drinker, but I feel like this is going to be a bit of a longer video, so I've got some coffee ready and I'm ready to get into these questions. So if this is something you're interested in, stick around, keep watching. As always, don't forget to click that like and subscribe for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and let's get started. Okay guys, so first off, I just want to thank everyone who sent their questions in. I had, like I said, quite a few questions. I didn't count them all, but I did narrow it down to 10. Some of them were very similar. Some of them were about products that I haven't tried yet, and they wanted help with these specific products, but I haven't tried the products yet, so I couldn't really give my information or opinion on those. So I narrowed it down to 10. So let's start off with number 1. So number 1 is, if you weren't a nail tech, what else would you do? Or what else would you be? So I feel like I would probably be an interior designer, or maybe even like a professional organizer. I absolutely love decorating. I feel like most nail techs love decorating and organizing. I feel like that's just how our brains work. We're all very creative. We love clean spaces, and being organized in a nail studio is super important because it makes you way more efficient when you don't have to be searching and looking for things and you just know where everything is. So I definitely think I would be an interior designer or an organizer. My nail room, so I have actually redecorated my nail room, I think 5 times in total in my 12-year career, which maybe doesn't seem like a lot, but that means like completely changing it. When I moved from downstairs to up here, I didn't really change the color scheme or anything like that. I really kept the color scheme the same, but I did change things around. I added some, different organizers, some different drawers and cabinets and things like that. So I didn't really change the colors, but I'm trying to think of all of the colors. So when I first started, it was originally up in this room, and it was fuchsia pink walls. It was ridiculous. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I had a really old desk that I had just gotten off of used Regina or something like that back in the day, which, if you're not familiar with where I live in Regina, Saskatchewan, so don't be alarmed when I say the word Regina. It is my city's name. It's not Regina, it is Regina. So there's just like a local website where people basically sell their stuff. So I got a desk off of there. I had painted the walls fuchsia pink. This house was actually quite a crap hole when I moved in, so the carpet was kind of nasty in here, but I was just starting out and I made do with what I had. So I had the fuchsia pink room. Then I moved downstairs, and it was originally my dining room, and it was very brown. Everything downstairs in my house originally was lots of browns and some teals and a lot of white. So the room was lots of browns, and there was like white striping that my dad had done on the wall. So I turned it to that, and then I changed it to adding purple. So I added like a really dark purple into the room. I still had the brown walls, but I added the purple along with the teal, and I changed things up. And then I think the next one was when I changed it to, I changed the walls. I lightened the walls up with more of a taupe color, because I actually changed the whole aesthetic of my house to more lighter taupe colors, like really, really light taupes. So I changed the walls in there, so it lightened everything up. And then I changed it to what it was with the glitter wall, which was my famous glitter wall. Everyone loved my glitter wall. I actually still have the glitter wall down there. So what I did was I actually sponged the colors with just regular acrylic paint. I did like a blush pink, a mint green, I did a gray, and then I actually used some gold paint as well. And then I used Mod Podge and I mixed it with glitter. And so originally, funny story, I wanted to paint on the glitter. So I mixed the glitter with the Mod Podge, and then I used a roller and I was just trying to roll the paint on the whole wall to just cover the entire wall with this iridescent glitter, and it did not work. And I started panicking because literally my clients were coming back to work. I was scheduled to be back in work like I only had one more day off, so 2 days. So I called my dad and I'm like panicking, like, oh my gosh, Dad, I don't know what to do. I need to go get more glitter. I have to figure this out. And I come home after getting more glitter, and my dad, bless his heart, he's on the floor painting on the Mod Podge, and he has the glitter in his hand, and he's like trying to blow the glitter onto the wall. It was the sweetest attempt. It did not work. And he was like, we cuss in my family, so he was like, I don't know what the F you're gonna do. I don't know what's happening. Like, this isn't gonna work. You're gonna have to think of something else. So I ended up actually rolling on some of it still onto that wall. I finished just rolling it on that wall, and it was a bit textured. And then on the other wall, the one adjacent across from it, I just painted it on with a brush. So anyways, the reason I'm telling you guys this is because it's part of obviously being a decorating person. I love decorating, but also if you're planning to do a glitter wall, just mix the glitter into Mod Podge, because the Mod Podge will dry clear, and use a paintbrush. Just paint it on. Honestly, that's what looks the best. So anyways, I'll see if I can find, I'll just go take a video downstairs and so I can like shove it in the corner here for you. I don't know if it'll actually pick up the glitter and all that stuff, but it's still the glitter wall. It's now going to be back to being my dining room, which I have to like still redo. So yeah, so that was when I changed the colors to the mint and the blush like that you see in here. I had this sofa down there as well. And then I moved up here. So I've technically redone my nail room 5 times. And I don't know, I probably will keep this for quite a while. I love the mint, you know, and blush pink. The color that I kind of started, you guys know I love pink. So I've started sort of moving in towards more of a dusty rose pink. So if anything, I may just sort of implement that color in here more, but I think I'll be keeping it this way. So basically, I would be an interior designer or a professional organizer. Okay, so moving on to number 2. So this is kind of a 3-part question. There were actually 3 questions that sort of, I feel like, went together, so I just kind of combined them into one. So the first part is, what hours do you work and what hours do you find are the busiest? The second part is, how many clients do you take per day? And the third part is, how do you schedule your clients to maximize your time in the salon? So diving into the first part, what hours do you work? And what hours do you find are the busiest? So I only work 4 days a week. So I work Tuesday to Friday. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, my hours are 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. or longer, because I do shove my long-nailed clients. They go in at the end of the day. I also will do my filming on my last clients of the day. So sometimes those clients that are supposed to be done around 8:30, sometimes they're not out of here until 9:30. 9 o'clock, 9:30, so it can be a little bit of a long day, but the last client of the day is always the most chillest one, because I'm not rushing, I don't have anyone after her, so we really just like laugh and take our time. So that's Tuesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays and Fridays, I actually work 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. again with my longest nailed clients at the end of the day, so sometimes I'm not done. Like for example, last night I started at 8 in the morning. My client didn't leave here until I think it was about 6:30 by the time we were done doing her nails. And you guys, her nails, oh, they were her birthday nails. I will definitely put a photo, maybe a photo and a video of her nails. I posted them on Instagram, and so many people messaged me asking me if I had filmed them, and I didn't, and I wish I would have. They all wanted to see a tutorial, but I'm going to try to do a little tutorial for you guys for Valentine's Day, where I use the same products, the same techniques, and just obviously add a little Valentine's Day twist. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, so Tuesdays and Thursdays are 11 to 8:30-ish. Wednesdays and Fridays are 8 a.m. to 5:30-ish. And then I take 6 clients a day. So I love to have a full day, obviously. None of us want to have openings. We all want to have full days. Now, granted, the odd time, if you get a cancellation in the middle of the day and you don't have anyone on the cancellation list, sometimes that cancellation is just a nice little reprieve and a nice little break. But I do 6 clients a day. When I am going on a holiday or I'm planning to take some time off, I generally do 8 clients a day the week before and 8 clients a day the week after, sometimes even the 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after, just depending on how many clients I need to get in and how long I'm taking off. Obviously, right now with COVID, I ain't going anywhere, so I'm not taking any time off. The only time I took off was a little bit at Christmas, so I did work the 12-hour shifts, you know, before Christmas, and I did 8 clients a day. Those are very long days. Yes, definitely very long days, because I book everyone back to back. So leading into the next question, which is how do you schedule your clients to maximize your time during the day? So I actually book all of my clients back to back for an hour and a half, except for my long-nailed clients, and I always book a lunch hour, so excuse me, a lunch half an hour. So this is something that I would highly recommend. You know, when we're first starting out doing nails, we are so excited about doing nails that we don't even care if we get a break. I remember in the beginning, I worked 6 days a week, 10-hour days, I think it was 10-hour days, and I didn't take a break at all. But I never really cared. It never bothered me. I never felt hungry because I just was so excited. You know, I was new into the nail industry. There was so much I wanted to do, so much I wanted to try. And that's not to say that I'm not excited about my job now. I still love my job. I am so grateful I have a job that I go to every day or come upstairs to every day that I love. But the excitement is just different, right? It's like anything in life. The longer you do something, the less exciting it is. It's not the same as the first day you started or the first, you know, month or 2 or 3 or whatever. So it is something though that I would highly recommend when you first start doing nails. I know you're trying to build your business, but I still recommend at least scheduling in 1 half-hour slot for you to eat somewhere in that middle of the day. So my clients currently are booked, let's say for Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have an 11 a.m. and then I have a half-hour lunch break at 12:30, and then I have a 1 o'clock, 2:30, 4 o'clock, 5:30, and a 7, and I'll be done around 8:30 or later. So now I do run into a little bit of issue in the last year, I would say, where I'm not taking my lunch because the long-nailed trend has been in now for a few years, and I have, you know, over the last couple of years had a lot of clients who wanted to grow their nails out longer. You know, we can thank Kylie for that. She's got her long claws, her and Chloe, and everybody wants them Cardi B, although I've never done a Cardi B length. They're crazy long. So I started putting in those clients for my 11 o'clock. And that way, if I do happen to go over the hour and a half, it's just going into my lunch break. And that way I'm not running into, you know, my next client's time slot and having to rush and try to catch up with her. So I myself have not been taking my own advice, and sometimes I don't get to eat all day. But there's also times where a client, you know, I have lots of other clients who are just very short nails. They get like a faded French. They kind of get the same thing all the time, and they're only an hour. So then I kind of make up for that hour, that half-hour lunch break there, and I will get to eat at that point. But I do highly recommend that, you know, you book your clients back to back. I think that that's honestly the best way to get as many clients in as possible. Depending on how long it takes you to clean in between your clients, you know, you have to make sure that you have enough time for that as well. For me, it works perfectly fine. And then adding that little time for you to have something to eat or have a pee break for that matter. So moving on to number 3 is, how did you come up with your pricing? So I actually have another video. I will put the little image up here. I did it quite a while ago. It's called something like the top 10 tips for someone starting out in the industry, something like that. And I do touch base on creating your price list in there, but basically there's there's two kind of things that I would recommend that you look at when you are creating your price list. So particularly when you're starting out in the industry. So one of the things you want to do is, and I do this as well when I'm doing a price increase, you want to call around to different salons that are in your area. So in your city or your town, wherever you live, they are local to you. You want to call around or go onto the websites. You know, you just need to go onto a few, maybe go to 5 different ones. And when I say salons, I'm not speaking about the chop shops, because they obviously are not going to be using the same products as you. They're not going to be doing the same practices as you. They're probably not going to be doing the same amount of cleaning as you. So I'm talking about reputable salons. Call around or go onto their websites and check out what their pricing is. And then also find some local ladies that work from their home. So if you're going to be working from your home, you also want to look at what other ladies that work from their home are charging as well. So if you have some girlfriends that work from home, you know, just give them a message and be like, hey girl, just wondering, what are your prices currently? Or if you don't have any because you're just new into the industry and you haven't really connected with any other nail techs yet, again, just phone around or go onto their Instagram pages or websites and check for pricing. And the other thing that you can ask as well is something like, how long does it take you to do a set? Because obviously if someone is only taking an hour to do a set and it takes you 4 hours, your pricing is not going to be the same. So that kind of moves into the second part of this answer, which is know your worth. Now, quite often when we see this kind of a quote, it's a very much like, you know, empowering, like know your worth, you're worth so much, like don't ever let anyone tell you you're worth less. Of course, yes, I absolutely agree with that, but also evaluate really what it is that you have to offer. So for example, and I know this kind of sounds, you know, maybe not so nice because I'm using the phrase know your worth or what your worth is, but really that's the best way I can put it. So for example, I've been doing nails for 12 years. I have a plethora of nail art, thousands and thousands of dollars of nail art, and it takes me about an hour and a half. Like I said, I book everyone for an hour and a half. Unless they have really long nails, then it's 2 hours. So if you compare my prices and you're like, oh, okay, well, I've only been doing nails for 3 months. It takes me 3 hours. I have only 4 colors and 2 glitters. And when I'm done, the shape isn't quite great yet because I'm still practicing. I'm still learning. You are not going to charge the same amount as I charge. So if I can like break it down a little bit, I would say if I charged, for example, let's say someone's coming here for a full set, and they're just getting the basics. So that means they're not getting any art. They're just getting a sculpted nail with blush pink or covered peach or whatever. And we're going to do a medium length in square shape. Let's just use that for an example. Here, that would be $70 in my salon. So maybe if you're starting out, and like I said, it takes you several hours, maybe you're going to start out at $50. Now that's not going to be your price forever. You know, I started out at a lower price as well, but as you get faster, as you buy more products, as your shape gets better, as your quality just gets so much better, you're going to start increasing your prices. But I have heard of a lot of girls, you know, who have just started in the industry and they're charging more than I am, and they're taking a lot longer. What I see they're putting out, I would say, is not worth that. And what's going to happen is people are not going to want to pay that. You know, they're going to leave there and they're going to think, that was not worth $70, right? So you want to build a good rapport with your clients as well and have them stay with you. That's how I have so many clients that have been with me since day one. And they've been with me through all of the price increases and through all of my growth, and they've never complained about it, because they've seen my growth and they've also recognized my worth. So those are the two things. You want to basically call around, find out in your area what people are charging, how long it takes them, that kind of stuff. And then you want to really reevaluate or evaluate what it is that you think your worth is, what you're putting out, what you think your quality is worth, and that sort of thing. So hopefully that helps as well. All right, and number 4 is, have you ever had to deal with theft? Thankfully, no. I have always worked in my home. I've actually never worked in a salon. I've only ever worked in my home. Now, like I said, originally I started upstairs here. That was for a very short period of time, I think maybe 6 months. And then I moved downstairs, and I was downstairs for a long time, just until this year. And so when I was up here and, you know, first starting out, I was a little more nervous. In the beginning, it was just family and friends. But as I started, you know, getting a few more new people coming, people I didn't know, I was a little nervous having people just kind of, you know, coming and going to the bathroom if they wanted to downstairs. I didn't, you know, but everything was fine. I've never had an issue. So I can't really speak from experience, but I was just kind of brainstorming a little bit, you know, just with some things that maybe I could recommend. So with my salon, the way that it was originally, my door actually used to be always unlocked because my clients would just come and go, right? So I'd be in the salon, the next one might come a few minutes early, they would just walk in. And so my front door was actually always open, which is not the safest. So now with COVID, you know, we have to make our clients wait in the car, and they have to text us when they're here, and then we let them in. So I actually really like that. And to be honest, this might be something that I keep as a regular practice when COVID goes away, because I really like the safety of feeling my door is unlocked, or my door is locked. But there's also locks that you can get that you can unlock your front door or your back door, whichever door, with your phone. So that might be something to keep in mind as well, is just make sure that you have some extra security where your door is able to be locked. And the only reason that I never used to do it is because I book back to back. And so there would be times where the next client would come and I'd still be finishing up with the other one, and I didn't want to have to constantly be getting up and up and up to go unlock the door. So that's why. But now that I have the door locked all the time, I really like it. And so I may, you know, purchase one of those locks as well that you can unlock with your phone, because they're pretty handy. And they're great for kids too, because then they don't have to be carrying around house keys all the time, right? You can just unlock it. They can unlock it from their phone, or you can unlock it for them. And you don't have to worry about your kids losing their keys. So that is an option. Also, I would say, you know, if you're a little leery about having your clients kind of walking through your house or going into your bathroom alone, or well, obviously they're going to go to the bathroom alone, but that would be weird if they didn't, or things like that, I would say maybe just schedule a little bit of extra time so that you can actually walk each client out of your house. Or into your house. So obviously I walk my clients in because I answer the door and then I lock the door behind them. But my clients actually walk themselves out, because while they're leaving and I'm getting ready for the next one, I'm cleaning and getting everything prepared. So I just always say, hey girl, like just lock the door on the way out. I actually have a sign on my door now that says, please lock the door. And they just lock the door on the way out. But again, I've never had any issues or concerns with my clients stealing from me. So I don't worry about that. But if you do have concerns, maybe just make sure that you have a little bit of extra time scheduled so that you can actually walk them out. And the one thing that I want to stress is that if you are going to do that, make sure that you do it very consistently. You don't want to be picking and choosing which clients you think look like they would steal from you. You want to make sure that you are consistent with it so that there is absolutely no prejudice and anything like that going on. So I would recommend something like that. So also if you're concerned, because, you know, I have a drawer that I have some cash, you know, for the clients who bring cash. I have cash, I have change. I would just make sure that if you are getting paid with a lot of cash during the day, that you are making a deposit every night to the bank. I would obviously not recommend keeping a bunch of cash, you know, in your drawer. And if you are going to keep cash, I know like IKEA doesn't have anything like this, because I did go on their website to see and I couldn't find anything, because we all love the Alex drawers. There are drawer units that you can get that like 1 or 2 of the drawers do actually have a little lock with a key. So again, if that's a concern for you, that, you know, if you had your client in your studio and then you like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom and I just can't wait, and you had to go to the washroom, that you were concerned like, oh gosh, I've got cash up there, they could be stealing my cash. Maybe look into getting a drawer unit that has some type of a little lock on it with a key, just again for that added protection. And then the last thing, and this is something that you would really have to research what you know, the laws are around this and things like that, because I know in the US, you know, I've spoken to some nail technicians that work from home, and they actually have cameras in their nail studio and throughout their home, just for added protection. But if you're going to do something like that, obviously you would have to look into all of the legalities behind it, what you're allowed to do. Obviously they would have to be aware of the cameras and things like that. So, you know, you could go to that level as well if you were really, really concerned. So hopefully that gives you some ideas. Again, I've never dealt with that in my entire 12-year career. I've never had a client steal from me, and I've never thought a client stole from me. I've never had something go missing and thought, you know, oh gosh, I think they stole something. So hopefully that helps with that one as well. Okay, all my coffee drinkers. Side note, so I do keto, which you guys know. I've been very often on keto in the last like year and a half. So I make coffee with heavy cream. I don't drink a lot of coffee. Like literally it's like jet fuel to me. So I only drink it very rarely when I absolutely need a little bit of a boost. And I put like half heavy cream and half coffee because I don't love coffee. But I would love to know in the comment section below, because I know there's a lot of avid coffee drinkers out there. You guys are hardcore. Who out of all of my watchers, who is like a fancy coffee drinker and needs a lot of like zhuzh to it, you know, a lot of cream and sweeteners and flavorings and caramel sauces and all those things, or who is like hardcore black coffee, doesn't need anything? I want to know. Let me know in the comment section below. So number 5, she said, I'm in Nova Scotia. Is Saskatchewan strict for in-home salon requirements? The answer is no. I absolutely hate to say that, but the answer is no. So right now, there are no requirements to do nails in your home. Joe Blow down the street, or Janet Blow, whatever their names are, can just literally go buy a bunch of crap off of eBay or Amazon or wherever, set up shop in their home, and start doing nails. And as long as they have their business license, you know, as long as they're paying their taxes, there's nothing that requires them to have a license or certification or any type of journeyman. So hairdressers here have to have a license, or what we call a journeyman, because they cannot do hair without it. But nail technicians, as far as estheticians, I'm not exactly sure when it comes to waxing and all that stuff, because I don't do any of that stuff, but I know for sure nail technicians, there are no requirements. It actually used to be even where instructors didn't have to have their journeyman, which is crazy to me. So basically, some girl or guy could decide they want to, you know, teach a nail course, so they could go onto YouTube, go onto the internet, get some information, post that they're teaching a nail class, make it look real professional. Some girl or guy could come and pay them however much money, sit down, take a class with them, whether it's a one-on-one class or a group class, it doesn't matter. And then they'll just print off some hokey certificate and give it to them. And voila, you're a nail tech. Good luck. Let's hope you don't injure anybody or do anything crazy to someone's skin or fingers, which is crazy, but that has changed. So I have a friend in the industry. Her name is Tanya. I will post her little Instagram here. She is amazing. She's amazing at marketing. She is the Brazilian queen. So she has been a very integral part of the group that has been trying to change this. And they actually did change it several years back now. It's been quite a few years that instructors now do have to have their journeyman. Nail technicians still don't. I will admit myself, I do not have my journeyman. I decided that I'm not going to go for it until I'm forced to, or until I have to. Would I recommend that to everyone? No. But I know that I am doing everything right in my salon because I keep up with the information. I went to a proper school. I learned about diseases, infection control, cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting. You know, this is not just a side job for me. This is my career. This is my bread and butter. So I'm not doing anything to F it up, basically. So I'm not really concerned about that for myself. So when that day comes that they implement that rule and we have to get our journeyman, I'll be at the door waiting in line to go do it. But for now, I don't. But they are working on that, because what they're trying to do, obviously, is weed out all the bad seeds, all the chop shops that are, you know, using MMA products, who aren't cleaning their implements properly, who are using dirty files, who aren't, you know, just basically doing the things that we all know we should be doing. They're not using proper products. They're lying to clients and telling them, yeah, you're getting powder gel when it's just acrylic, or solar nail when it's just acrylic, and charging them more. So, you know, they're trying to basically weed out those places. And so, you know, kudos to Tanya. You know, she has done an excellent job. She's great. I will also link her information below, because like I said, if you're in Saskatchewan, or if you're in Regina and you need your vagina fixed up, she'll hook you up. She's very good. So I'll link that stuff below. But yeah, the long of the short is, unfortunately, no. I don't know what it's like in other provinces. I don't know. Like this lady said, she was from Nova Scotia. I don't know what their rules and regulations are, but in Saskatchewan, I hate to say it, no. So I would say, like, I've had several clients over the years who have, you know, wanted to take a nail course, wanted to take a nail program. I've had some of them ask me if I would basically teach them, or if I could teach them. I actually just had a new lady come, and I love her. She's so funny. Her and her friend both come to me. You know who you are. If you're watching my videos, you know who you are, because you are crazy, and I laugh at every appointment, like I can't even, and they're so similar. It's so funny. But anyways, I love them. So the one that just came to me, she just started coming to me, oh, I don't know, she's only been here a couple of times. On her first appointment, as she was leaving, she actually kind of did a little wink and said, you know, if you ever want to teach anybody, or you're looking for an apprentice, I'd be down. And I mean, I was just straight up and honest with her that, you know, I can teach you nail art. I used to teach a lot of one-on-one nail art classes, but I won't teach nail art to anyone who hasn't gone to a school, who basically isn't certified. You need to be certified. She was like, oh, okay. And so a lot of my clients over the years have gone to nail school. They've gone and gotten certified. And, you know, they still come to me because they hate doing their nails, just like most of us. But it is a great career. I absolutely recommend, if you are interested in doing nails, go for it. But make sure that you go to school. It is very, very important to go to school. And yes, I know that a lot of the schools aren't teaching us everything we need to know, but it's the importance of the basics, the importance of knowing infections, diseases, you know, what products to use. It's not a matter of, you know, doing nails isn't just a matter of taking some stuff and slopping it on a nail and making it look pretty. There's a lot more that goes into it, and that is the stuff that you will learn in your class. You need to know the anatomy of the finger. What is the difference between a nail bed and a nail plate? You know, you need to know this stuff. What is onycholysis? You know, so it is very important that you do, if you are interested in being a nail technician, definitely go to school. I have a lot of ladies that follow me and they message me and ask me questions, and they admit and say, you know, I'm not a certified nail tech, I'm not licensed, I just do my own nails, or I just do my sister's nails, and they ask me questions. I understand there's a lot of DIYers out there, but if you are wanting to make a career out of this, if you are wanting to make any money at this, and you're wanting to have clients, and this is something that you're passionate about, go take a program or a course. Definitely 100% do that. And then once you're done that course, you can go on YouTube, you can go there's classes all over the world right now with COVID. There's so many online classes, you know, nail art, shaping, all of the things. But yeah, definitely, if you're wanting to be a nail technician, take a program. So, okay. You guys, I know I ramble so much. I'm sorry. I just like to get out as much information as I possibly can, and a lot of times I feel like I'm just blabbing on, but I get a lot of good feedback from you guys that I'm really good at, like, telling you guys lots of stuff and giving you lots of information. So the ones who don't like it, I apologize. Ooh, I'm sorry, but this is me, girl. This is me. So I'm just gonna have a little sip of coffee. Okay, so number 6, she asked me, do you wear gloves 100% of the time? And then she said that she finds it really hard to wear them when she's trying to apply forms. So no, I do not. I do wear gloves when I am filing. So basically when I'm using my e-file and when I'm using my hand file, basically anytime there's going to be any type of nail dust floating around, I wear gloves. And the only reason is because I actually started to develop contact dermatitis on my ring fingers and my middle fingers. Oddly enough, it never went anywhere else. I never got contact dermatitis on any other parts of my hands, just on those 2 fingers. And so it started happening, I would say probably about 5 years into my career. And I was like panicking because I mean, my first thought was, oh my gosh, what if it starts getting so bad? Like I've seen ladies where it gets all up their arm, even on their chest. I have a girlfriend, she actually has to wear very long sleeves because it'll get all over her arms. And so I just learned, okay, I have to wear gloves. But yes, it is very difficult to wear gloves when you're putting on forms. I can't do it either. I couldn't do it either. So I only wear them when I'm dealing with nail dust or product dust, right? Because it's not actually the dust of the human anatomy, the nail that's bothering me. It's the acrylic. And gel would be the same because really, guys, that's a whole nother video, but gel and acrylic are pretty much the same when it comes to the chemistry of them. They're very much the same. So if you're concerned about, you know, the fact that, you know, your hands, you're touching the client, really you shouldn't be concerned because your client should be washing their hands when they come in. I'm not talking about hand sanitizer. I know hand sanitizer has become, you know, this sort of lifesaver of, I don't know, the coronavirus or something, but it's really best if you can get your clients to wash their hands. Sanitizer is a great second option, but I do firmly believe that washing of the hands should be your first option. So get your clients to wash their hands and then you also wash your hands. So it really doesn't matter if you're touching them, you've washed your hands. And even if you are wearing gloves, let's be honest, it's kind of, again, I hate bringing up COVID, but it's the same thing that they're talking about where people are wearing gloves into the grocery store. So if I'm wearing my gloves and I'm touching my client's hand and then I happen to touch my face because I had an itch, or I touch a bottle and that bottle might have, I don't know, a cold germ on it or something like that, and then I go and touch their hand, it's no different than if I had my naked hands and I did the same thing, right? So unless you're going to, you know, wear the glove and anything that you touch, you take the glove off and then put the glove back on and then touch their hand and then you have an itch, you take your glove off, you scratch your face, you put the glove back. I mean, let's be real, nobody's doing that. So just get your clients to wash their hands. You wash your hands. If you have a contact dermatitis issue, try to figure out exactly what the source is. For me, it's the dust. It's the nail acrylic dust or the gel dust that really is what causes my contact dermatitis. So I don't wear it when I'm doing nail art. I don't wear the gloves when I'm doing nail art. I don't wear the gloves when I am, applying gel polish or anything like that, just when I'm filing. And I also have a little tip for you guys. If you struggle with carpal tunnel, which I have really bad carpal tunnel in my right hand, I also have it in my left hand, but I find my right is the one that I struggle with the most. The only times my left hand really, really bothers me is if I have a day of clients who cannot relax. You know, the infamous, relax your hand, relax your hand, relax your hand, relax your hand, girl. Like when you have a day like that, yeah, then my left hand gets a little bit sore, but, okay, on a side note, I don't actually beat my clients, but just in case, PSA, just in case anyone was concerned. So I actually wear a large size on my right. I'm actually a medium glove size person, but I wear a large on my right hand because I find that when I was wearing the medium size glove, it was just too tight. So when I was like holding my drill, or e-file, I still call it a drill sometimes, when I was holding my drill or when I'm, hand filing and just having to have a lot of motion, I found that just like the way that I'm holding my hand, the glove was just way too restrictive, and it actually caused like more pain. I found when I went up a size in a glove, oh, it was like so much more relief. So it is a little bit annoying because the glove will be looser and you'll kind of have to pull it down. You know, my clients oftentimes see me do this on my boobs because I'm pulling the glove, you know, pushing the gloves back on, especially this one. But yeah, it is a little bit, you know, larger, so it will be a little looser, but it will help. I would rather have an annoying loose glove than, you know, hand pain all day dealing with my job. So a little tip for you guys, try a size up in gloves if you are struggling with carpal tunnel, and I'm telling you guys, it'll help. Okay, so number 7 is, what is your worst client experience to date? Let me just have a little swig. Okay, so I actually haven't had, you know, overly too many bad experiences with clients. I mean, I've had a few, but this one always stands out in my mind just because honestly, it was more so her appearance that caught me off guard. So I'll try to like break it down, and it was a long time ago. Like this was probably, oh gosh, maybe 10 years ago. Like it was quite early on in my career. So basically this girl booked an appointment, so she didn't show up for her first appointment. So usually my rule of thumb is if someone's not here right on the dot, like if their appointment is at 1, right now, the way that I run it now, the way that I do things now, if their appointment is at 1, if they're not here at 1, I will text them at 1 o'clock and just say, hey girl, are you on your way? The reason that I do this, on a side note, is because if they have forgotten, if they're like, oh my God, I totally forgot, it gives them enough time to possibly still make it here, you know, within that kind of 15-minute time frame, and I can still get them in. They don't really get to choose what nails they want. They're going to get something simple, something I can get them in and out, you know, of the salon by doing, but at least they can maybe make it. So that's why. But back in the day, I used to give them about 5 minutes. So I messaged her, I don't remember what time her appointment was, but let's say it was 11 in the morning. I do remember it was a daytime. So, you know, it's 5 after. I text her, hey girl, you know, this is Jen, just wondering if you're on your way. She doesn't message me back right away. It takes a bit. So I'm like, okay, this chick's not showing up. Eventually she does message me back and she's like, oh, I totally forgot. I'm so sorry, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I had a no-show and late policy. Back then it was $25. So I sent her the message and said, okay, unfortunately I will have to charge you, you know, the $25 fee, but I used to only require them to pay it when they came to their next appointment, because we didn't have like e-transfer or anything like that back then. It was just cash. I strictly took cash. So I said to her, okay, you know, unfortunately there is a $25 fee. I will require you to pay that in order to come, you know, to rebook or whatever. You'll have to pay that at your next appointment. And she rebooked. So I was like, okay, cool. So she rebooked for, I don't know, however many days later. It wasn't like long. And then she ended up not showing up again. So again, at 5 minutes after, I text her and I'm like, hey girl, you know, it's Jen. You have an appointment at, let's say, 11 o'clock again. Are you on your way? She actually responded quite quickly and said, I'm on my way. I think she said, I'm just leaving the methadone clinic. So I said to her, as long as you can be here by 11:15, I'll be able to get you in. She's like, okay. So I remember specifically her showing up at 20 after. I was sitting in my living room waiting, and she pulls up at 20 after. So I'm frustrated because I'm thinking, oh, now I'm going to be running behind, but like she's already missed one appointment. Like, what am I going to do now? Charge her another $25? Like, this is getting crazy. So I'm just like, get her in, just get her in. So she pulls up and she gets out of her car, and this is why I'll never forget this scenario, this situation. So anyone who's watched Jersey Shore, like the old Jersey Shore, when it first came out, if you remember how Snooki and Jenny used to look after like a hard night out, their like extensions would be kind of like hanging half out, their lashes were all cockeyed and hanging half off, their makeup. That's how this girl looked. Like she had just got home from a party. So not to be judgmental, but you know, my first thought was, oh, I think I think she actually was coming from the methadone clinic because she was getting methadone. And you know, I don't mean to laugh, but it just caught me off guard. And I was just like, oh my gosh, okay. Okay, so here she comes in. And she kind of comes in all like burly, you know, like talking and talking and talking. And I'm like, okay, girl, like, gotta get you started. Like, you're quite a bit late already. So, you know, I'm like, go ahead and wash your hands. I'm ready for you. I'm washed up. Your stuff is already ready and pulled out upstairs. So she gets ready. She comes up. So by the time we started, honestly, it was probably like 25 after. I don't even know. And she sits down and the girl's got glitter nail polish on. I'm like, I can't do your nails. It's going to take me at least 10 minutes to get this damn glitter nail polish off, because anybody who knows about glitter nail polish, it is a pain to get off. And it's not like I could just file it, because she had it on her natural nail. It was just nail polish. I didn't want to file into her natural nail. So I was just like, oh, I was like, girl, I'm not going to be able to do your nails. Like, it's already, you know, 25 after. I have another client already booked, like, right after you. So I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, so what do I do? Charge her another no-show fee? So I said to her, you know, I'll only charge you the $125 fee for last time. You know, if you rebook, I just really need you to get here on time. I could tell she was frustrated, but at the same time, so was I. And it wasn't, I didn't screw up anything. Like, you screwed it up. But she paid me the $25 fee and she rebooked again for however many days later. Well, of course, she didn't show up. I tried texting her, she didn't respond. I finally ended up reaching out to her on Facebook and basically told her that I would no longer be able to rebook her. You know, this is the third time. I kind of have a 3 strikes you're out policy. I do appreciate that she paid the no-show fee, but like, this is 3 appointments now that I am out income. You know, I tried to explain it to her and basically like, I wish you the best. But you know, I won't be rebooking you. And she lost her mind on me. She just started cussing me out. She started telling me that, I shouldn't have even had to pay a no-show fee because I showed up. I was there. I explained to her, well, yes, you did show up, but you were 20 minutes late and you had glitter nail polish on. So, I mean, I couldn't even service you. And she was like, well, I've talked to people and they've told me that I shouldn't even have to have paid anything. Like, this is bull crap. I'm going to ruin you. Like, it was just, I mean, in the end, I was just like, girl, bye. Like, girl, bye. So I would say that's probably like the worst experience, the craziest experience. Like I said, I will just never forget her appearance. It just reminded me of Snooki and Jenny. And I'll never forget that. And you know what? Maybe, fingers crossed, she got whatever things that she needed to get sorted out. And I honestly wouldn't remember her. I don't remember her name. I honestly can't remember what she looked like. I mean, so she could rebook with me and be completely lovely and have turned her life around and gotten whatever things she needed to get sorted out. And hopefully, I hope the best for her. So whoever you are, I hope that your life is amazing and you're getting your nails done fabulously somewhere. So that's probably, yeah, that's it. That's my worst experience. Right, so number 8 is, does it bother you if your clients go somewhere else? So I'm not really sure what context they meant this in, but I've had instances where, you know, a client has had to cancel with me for whatever reason, scheduling issues, financial issues, whatever. They've had to cancel their appointment with me. And I wasn't able to reschedule them. I didn't have any openings and they've gone somewhere else. Does it bother me? No. I would actually prefer that they got their nails done in between rather than go 6 weeks or 8 weeks and their nails be completely jacked up by the time they come back. Do I love when they go to, you know, a place like a chop shop? No, I don't love it. But again, if that's what, you know, the only place they could get into or whatever, then, you know, that's fine. I'd rather that they just have their nails done in between rather than none at all. So no, that doesn't bother me. I've also had situations, you know, where people have stopped coming to me because of a plethora of different reasons. They couldn't afford it anymore. Their work schedule changed and I couldn't accommodate their schedule. Their friend or their sister started doing nails and they want to go support her. Maybe they found somewhere closer to where they live. I mean, there's a million reasons people stopped coming to me. Maybe they just didn't like me. You know, that could happen. So, I mean, I'm pretty likable, but not everybody's gonna like me. So here's the thing. I never want a client to feel awkward, you know, a previous client to feel awkward if I run into them. Like, you know, say I'm at the grocery store and I see Becky, who stopped coming to me 4 months ago because she said she couldn't afford it anymore. And I see Becky has her nails done. Does that bother me? Absolutely not. They're her nails. So, you know, you have to kind of look at it from your perspective. If you were going somewhere and getting some type of a service, your haircut, you were going for nails, eyelashes, whatever you were getting done, and for whatever reason, you weren't 100% comfortable going there anymore, you didn't like the products or the service, whatever it is, they're your nails. So you have to think to yourself, would you want that, you know, service provider to be mean to you and crabby with you because you didn't want to go there anymore? Absolutely not. So if I've seen somebody out at the grocery store, for example, we'll say her name is Becky. I actually do have a client named Becky, but we'll say, you know, Becky, I see Becky and I haven't seen Becky for 4 months. She said she couldn't afford it anymore and I noticed she has her nails done. I don't want it to be awkward where I'm like, oh, you know, walk the other way. Don't say anything to Becky because, you know, you don't want this. I don't want that. Like, I want to be able to go up to her and be like, hey, girl, oh, where'd you get your nails done? They look great or whatever. And I also don't want Becky to feel like she's got to like, oh, hey, Jen, how are you? You know, hide her hands and be all awkward. There are nail technicians out there that do have an attitude if they see you and you've gone somewhere else and they do take it very personally. I don't. Does it suck when a client stops coming to you? Of course it sucks. It sucks that, you know, now I'm out some income and I have to try to fill the spot, you know, of course. But am I upset or annoyed with that person or mad at that person? No, it doesn't bother me at all. I've had tons of clients who have left for many, many reasons. You know, those reasons that I just mentioned to you. And a lot of them have come back because we had a good rapport, because they didn't leave on nasty terms. And to be honest, okay, there are tons of good nail techs. Let me just preface by saying there are tons of good nail techs, amazing nail techs in my city. But a lot of my clients have come back years later and just said, you know, I just didn't find anyone else as good as you. So can I come back? And it's like, yes, you can come back. Like, we're cool, bro, you know, like, we're cool, girl, so don't worry about it. So I think for me, what makes that sort of interaction better also is if a client has been honest with me about it, you know. So if they say, I just can't afford it anymore. I've had lots of clients that have had financial changes in their life. And usually, unfortunately, you know, when it comes between feeding their children or getting their nails done, I always get the boot. Damn kids. Like, of course, you know, we're not a priority in people's lives. I mean, some people we are a priority. I have had some diehard clients that are like, I will like not eat for a day if it's a matter of getting my nails done. But in reality, things change in people's lives. And so, you know, if they've just discussed it with me, I'm always like, girl, when things change or if things get better financially, or, you know, you want to go support your girlfriend who's doing nails, if it doesn't work out, that's cool. Give me a shout. If I can get you back in and I have openings, you're definitely welcome to come back here. I cannot say enough how many times I have had that happen over my 12-year career. And I have great rapport with these people, with these girls. So yeah, no. So basically, does it bother me? No. I mean, all right. So number 9 is, how do you fire a client? Ugh, I hate this one. Firing a client is never fun. I don't even like using the term firing. I mean, I joke around about it like, girl, if you don't start relaxing your hand, I'm going to fire your ass. Like, you know, I mean, I joke around a lot, but you know, I like to prefer to say I had to let a client go. And yes, I have had to do that. You know, I had a client who was, honestly, she was just a mean person. I think she was just really unhappy in her life, and I put up with her for a very long time. She felt like she was above and beyond all of my other clients. So if she screwed up her appointments and didn't show up, somehow she didn't think she had to pay a fee. And you know, and I let it go for a long time, and it just got to the point where I was like, I can't, like, you know, we need to part ways. You are no longer welcome here, and, you know, I wish you the best. I wouldn't say that I have like a specific kind of phrase that I use. I don't have something that like I just sort of this generic phrase, because every situation is different. I have had situations where maybe I've had a client who's come to me for a long period of time and been a great client, and then all of a sudden they're canceling a lot of appointments, or they're no-showing appointments, or they're coming late, you know, things like that. Or they're even messaging me and saying, I can't come today because I can't afford it, or whatever, right? Oh, I don't have a sitter. And it's like, what do you mean you don't have a sitter? You've always figured out a sitter, and now all of a sudden at every appointment you don't have a sitter. Like, are you not paying attention to your appointment? Like, what's going on? Basically, something has changed in their life, and it's affecting, you know, the way that they're showing up for their nail appointments. I have had that situation happen, and when that occurs, I will usually have a conversation with them and just say, you know, hey girl, like, I've just noticed like you've been late to a lot of your appointments. I feel like, you know, maybe you've got some stuff going on, and like, that's okay. But I think what's best is that you take a break from your nails right now, and basically, you know, when you get things back together and when you feel more sorted, give me a call and I'll see if I can get you back in. And to be honest, you know, if I think kind of offhand, I feel like everyone that I've had that conversation with has actually felt relief, because I think in their mind, number one, they don't want to give up their spot, right? That's one of the biggest things, because they know if they give up their spot, I'm probably going to fill it, and then they'll have a harder time coming back. So they don't want to give up their spot, but also they're loyal, and they want to make sure, you know, they don't want to stop coming and cause me to have to fill their spot, or, you know, I'm out income. And so when I suggest that, usually their response is, oh, you know, I was thinking the same thing, but I just felt bad. So yeah, I think you're right. And so it's fine. Again, we leave on good terms. It's like they'll, you know, message me when they kind of get whatever sorted out in their life that they need to get sorted out. They'll call me and text me, and they'll come back. So I don't like to say, you know, I fired them, because I didn't fire them. I mean, you know, they had some, it just wasn't working out in that time, right? So I've had those situations as well. And to be honest, those situations are actually easier to handle than the ones where you're feeling upset in any way or negative in any way towards a client, and you need to let them go because you don't like having them. It seems weird, because that should actually be easier to just let go of someone you don't like. But the reason it's more difficult is because you kind of feel like you're not sure what their response is going to be. Are they going to take it well? Are they going to be mad at you? Are they going to tell you they're going to ruin you? Like, you know, all these kinds of things. So that can be a little more difficult. But I mean, basically, if you want sort of kind of a generic thing to say, I mean, you could basically just say something along the lines of, you know, I don't think that I am the right nail technician for you. I'm not really comfortable having you as a client anymore. I wish you all the best, but I am going to be canceling all future appointments. And again, I have had to say things like that, and I have had clients who have basically, I don't want to say begged, but said, oh, you know, I'm sorry and whatever. But at that point, it's already too far gone. You know, I've already given you so many chances. You know, I've already said to you, you know, when you show up late every time, I really need you to show up on time, because every time you show up late, it stresses me out. And then I got to try to make up the time, or I don't get to eat, and they're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then they just continue to show up late. I mean, if you've had this conversation and this dialogue with a client over and over and over, and they still continue to disrespect, at that point, I'm done. Like, girl, you're not coming here anymore. That, you know, brings up another point too. Like, let me also say that it is important for you to have conversation with your client if they are doing something that is bothering you. So if your client shows up 10 minutes late to every appointment and you don't say anything about it, she thinks that that's okay. Whether you act snotty, whether you have an attitude, whether you're basically trying to hint to her that it's a problem, I'm telling you, a lot of people won't pick up on those cues. You actually have to have a conversation. So I'm saying, you know, don't just fire somebody because they've showed up late for every appointment, but you haven't actually had the conversation with them to let them know that that's a problem. But what I'm trying to get at is, don't just make a hasty decision because someone shows up late 2 times and then you don't have a conversation with them and you're like, I'm firing her. You know, you got to kind of have a conversation, give them a chance to reprieve themselves, give them a chance to fix this, you know, find a solution, fix the problem. Okay guys, final question. Number 10, let me get a little swig of the coffee. Number 10 is, what has been your biggest lesson, good or bad, as a nail tech? So I'm going to say there's probably 2 things. You have to have thick skin, and you have to understand that you cannot please everyone. So the thick skin thing for me came into play quite early on in my career, and it actually came into play in regards to other nail techs, not even clients. When I first started doing nails, I had this very naive notion that it was going to be a bunch of women, because at the time there wasn't a lot of male nail technicians, but a bunch of women supporting women, you know, Team Regina, you know, just like hoorah, women supporting women. And no, it was not like that at all. I mean, I had a few supporters, but yeah, there was a lot of drama, a lot of backlash from people that I was not prepared to have backlash from. You know, one of the reasons I never wanted to work in a salon was because I worked in a dental lab for 8 years, and I worked alone, but I was in a building with other dental offices, and it was all women, and I saw what it was like to have a bunch of women working with women, and the drama and the, you know, cattiness and the whatever. And so I was like, I'm never gonna work in a salon. I just want to work from home by myself and I don't have to deal with the drama. Lo and behold, the drama came to find me anyways. So I had to learn to have thick skin. And funny enough, one of the people that I had issue with the most was a person who actually told me, you need to get thicker skin. And I was like, okay, fine. So I definitely had to learn to, you know, you got to let stuff roll off your shoulders. You know, in the beginning of your career, when you have situations like that, I was so concerned that it was going to affect my business. That if these things that they are saying about me and things that they are telling people are going to affect my business, people aren't going to want to come to me. And I just had to learn that, you know what, people will start seeing things for the way that they are. The actual truth, you just have to keep doing you, boo-boo, and keep on course, and just get a little bit of tougher skin and don't let things bother you as much. I know that that's hard, especially for people like me, who naturally, I am actually a very soft person, a very tender-hearted person. People may not know me as that because I've always, you know, put on this facade, you know, that I'm tough and like nothing gets me, but stuff does get to me. So I would say that's a huge thing. You have to have thick skin. You can't let every client that doesn't like the shape of your nails or didn't like how you did their nails or, you know, didn't like you, or a nail tech who's talking crap about you, you can't let all that bother you. Stay the course. Focus on you and your business and your clients, and that is it. Do not let that stuff take you down, because it almost took me down. There were several times where I almost actually wanted to stop doing nails because I was like, I can't deal with this. But don't let that happen. Just get some thick skin. So then the second part, you know, you can't please everyone. They kind of tie in together, right? So you're not going to be able to please every single client. Some clients just might like their nails done a certain way and you just don't do them that way, or you can't do them that way. You know, you're going to have some clients who are extremely picky and you just can't do it the way they want. Again, got to have thick skin there. Don't let that affect you and make you start believing that you're just not good at nails. And, you know, we have this way of kind of catastrophizing. I do it as well, where it's like one client can ruin your whole day and you've had every other client who's come in and they've had an awesome set of nails. They've been great appointments, but that one can just be, it can just put you down. But don't let that happen. You just can't please everyone. And I'm not only speaking in regards to the actual, you know, service you're providing. Also keep that in mind when it comes to yourself. You know, I've had clients over the years. I remember years ago, I heard through the grapevine that this client that only came to me a couple of times, she was telling people that she didn't come back to me because I cussed too much. And to be honest, like, I mean, I am a cusser. I grew up in my family. We all cuss. People sometimes are shocked, but I feel also like in Saskatchewan, we are just potty mouths. So it's very natural around here. But when a client first comes to me, it's not like I'm throwing F-bombs the first day they come. So I don't know, you know, relative to what did she mean I cussed too much? Maybe I said S-H-I-T and that was just, woo, too much for her. I'm not sure. But whatever it was, she didn't want to come back to me because I cussed too much. Okay, that's cool. Like, that's your thing. Did it bother me? I mean, at first I was, you know, of course, bothered by it. Like, oh gosh, I feel bad. Like, why didn't she just say something? Or, you know, I don't know, whatever. But no, it's like you just learn to yourself, well, listen, I can't please everybody. And it's very hard as a nail technician to deal with the different personalities that come in here. So I deal with 6 people a day. So say first client, we're going to call her Becky. She comes in and Becky is happy-go-lucky. She's living her life. Life is good. We laugh. We, you know, just like hang out, chill. We have a good old time. Then maybe we're going to say, oh, Karen. Okay, on a side note, I feel bad for all the good Karens in the world, but we're going to say Karen comes in next, and Karen is an angry client. She had the worst day. She's mad at her kids. She's mad at her husband. She's mad at her boss. She's mad at her dog. The world has done Karen wrong. She is in a crap mood. Okay, so I just went from being happy and having a great old time to now I'm kind of like down here because I'm with Karen. And it's hard sometimes to not be with them, right? Because you're empathizing, you're sympathizing with them, you're listening to them. Okay, so Karen was way down here. Then next we're going to say Sarah comes in and Sarah's really sad. Sarah just went through something traumatic in her life. Something bad happened to Sarah, excuse me, and she's really sad and really low and depressed. And so now you're kind of like low and depressed with Sarah. Then, okay, next one comes in and we'll call her, I don't know, Rachel. Rachel comes in and again, Rachel is just like hilarious and she cusses and you cuss with her. And again, just having a good, like that is, you know, that's difficult to do. And so if I'm being honest, that is probably the most difficult part of my job. I could do nails with my eyes closed at this point. Well, not really, but you know what I'm saying. It's dealing with the different personality types and the different situations that people are going through. That is the hardest part. And I really, really struggled in the beginning of my career trying to please everyone and not be true to who I am. So yes, naturally I'm a cusser. Now that doesn't mean I can't tone it down. Like I have clients who cuss like a frickin' sailor, and then I have other clients who have never cussed in the whole 10 years they've been coming to me. They're very, you know, calm and subdued, and they don't say swear words. I have still sworn in front of them and said like S-H-I-T or whatever, and they're not like, oh, appalled or anything. I'm still myself, but I just tone it down, right? I mean, that's reality. You don't talk at church like you do with your friends. You don't talk to your grandmother the same way you do with your friends. But I want to stress that, you know, just understand that you can't please everyone. And you just kind of have to try to tone it down and sort of switch it up a little bit, but you cannot please everyone. You have to be true to who you are also, in some way, because this is a different job than most people. We are touching them. We are sitting 2 feet from their face. We hear all of the things that are going on in their life. And I've shared a lot of what's going on in my life with my clients. They are not just, you know, a number to me. They're not just somebody coming in to pay me to do a job. I consider a lot of my clients friends. And I know that a lot of nail technicians or educators will try to steer us away from doing that. I just find it impossible. In the 12 years I've been doing nails, I have tried to be more distant and disassociated from, you know, the personal aspect of being with a client. It's very impossible unless you sit there like a deaf mute and just tell them to watch the TV and don't tell me your business and I won't tell you my business and we can just talk about the weather. It's impossible. So basically, with everything that I'm saying, those 2 things are the lessons that I've learned, is to get some thick skin and understand that you cannot please everyone. I hope that that helps break that down for you guys. All right, guys, so that wraps up the Q&A. I have actually no idea how long this video is going to be. I'm going to try to get it down to like 30 to 45 minutes for you guys. But I ramble like crazy. You know, I try to get as much information out to you as possible and to break down the questions and, you know, just anything that comes to mind. I like to add it all in there. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please share it with someone else. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, have an amazing day.